The book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kahagwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akims that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. Now I want to get in a quick lesson today of pretty much knowing them that labor among you, right? Understanding that Judas was also, Judas Iscariot was also amongst the 12, which labored and walked with the Lord in close proximity, all right? But also understanding that also, Peter and those that was, of the house that the Lord had built his church on was also walking with the Lord. But you got to pray to the Lord that he don't put the spirit, of Judas on you, man, to turn against your brethren, which is chiefly turning against Yahushai, which is ultimately, you forsaking this truth, man. All right? And the Lord taking this Holy Spirit from you, and turning you out of the way. And there's nothing you can do, to keep yourself from that, or be of it, because it's of the Lord's will. And we have a high level of regard and respect towards that. But understanding and knowing them which labor among you, seeing that day is approaching, and not forsaking the assembly, all right, because we understand, this is how we get to learn each other. This is how we get to grow, all right. Ultimately, this is how we show our fruits and works of the Lord, And why would Paul need to mention, in these last times, no need for him to come to us and write unto us, for we should know these things, and why would he have to mention in a large letter about knowing them which labor among you, man? Because during these days that's coming, it's gonna be a high level of fear. It's gonna be a high level of men forsaking the Lord. It's gonna be a high level of faith. It's gonna be fear, forsaken, and faith. That's gonna transpire amongst the men who are believers, or those of the household of faith. And that's why when we're laboring, all right, we take the opportunity as we have, which I'll get that next, to congregate, fellowship, right, and show our works, so that men can have some trust in you. Now, at the end of the day, all our trust gonna lie within the Lord, all right. But there's also gonna be brothers that have shown themselves faithful in the walk, all right, that you can at least, if you in that day, the man served the Lord, and that's important. He was adamant about doing it. He was sincere with it. And that's all you can do. The Lord and the angels will take their proper course and, divide and, and protect and kill and do what they need to do around those who fear the Lord, But it's very important to not be a lone wolf, all right, a introvert. Some brothers, that's their spirit. But obviously, at these times, man, you're going to have to be trusted. And brothers, if you haven't really made yourself, a trustee, so to say, right? Either, have opened up and showed brothers yourself and, or different things like that, then it'll be hard to trust you when it's time to... We can't figure out if we want to trust you in a time when we need to trust you. All right? And I say that, I speak to myself first and foremost, and then, obviously, to the brotherhood. We can't try to figure out if we're going to trust you tomorrow. We need to know if we could trust you today. And you do that by your report, your works, right? Your fair showing, and having a fervent spirit of seeking the Lord, man, and knowing that this is part of seeking the Lord as well. Not just coming to camp. Nobody knows you or sees you to Saturday or whatever day, and and that's it, man. All right. See that? And esteeming a man highly in love is fulfilling the law with him. You walk with him for years, met his family, and you know the brother, or whatever the case may be. That's gonna be important. That's gonna play a crucial role when all hell have broken loose, because nobody knows who the hell you is. All right, and brothers can't guess at that time if you're a man in the Lord, because you've been around for years. Men hide behind years, man. But the one thing about the truth, you can hide behind years, but there's a report. You never can hide behind your report. You see? This is Galatians 6:10. It says, as we have therefore opportunity, you see, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are the household of faith. So, when we do it good, we know it to whom thou doest it. Right? It ain't just we just go pick some random person off, and if you want to do that, so be it. You could go help every goddamn body if that's your spirit. I'm not knocking it. I'm not gonna do it. To each his own, right? But all in all, as we have therefore opportunity, we need to get this opportunity to fall up on each other next, man. Kiss your brother, which spiritually means, come together, come within, right? Break bread, right? Rebuke, exhort, and all long suffering, admonishment. All right. These are all the things that, as we have the opportunity, we must do unto those that are the household of faith. And it said the household of faith, because the ministry is about faith. And brothers who have shown their faith, they have shown themselves to be lovers of the Lord, man, to this point. And that's all you could judge. Because you can't say who's who. I can't say who I am. Right? That's not the purpose of the matter of this purpose. But there is a report of where brothers have walked in the Lord, man, since you've known them. Well, it's about time that, like the elder, I believe, Ariala said, it's time to have those tough talks. Like, man, where the hell you been all these years, man? You've been secluded, brothers, walking with you, believing you're a man in the Lord, man, but your fruits, all right, don't add up to that, or vice versa. But these the times we're in, and there was gonna come a time where, you wasn't gonna be able to duck down in a crowd of, they got 40 brothers, 10 men ducking down, like, nah, the Lord, you got to know the Lord is in this house. You wasn't going to be able to escape, man. All right? Not having a mind towards brothers. You see? Or the brotherhood, of fellowshipping. So, the spirit is heavy on that. It's about to get on that. Brothers going to have to show up or go home, man. In 2026, like the apostle, elder apostle Tahar said in a lesson, we believe this 2030 thing may happen in 2026, and that been in my spirit. Obviously, the elder spoken and confirmed it, but 2026, everything is set in place, man. Now everything can happen according to the Lord will, but it is what it is. So, the Lord gonna start at His sanctuary. And it ain't just with killing. He gonna start at his sanctuary with those that be faking, right? Those that are provocateurs, those that are Judas, goats, and amongst everything. That's starting at his sanctuary, cleaning his house, right? You don't just start power mopping the house. You gotta sweep dust, then mop and finish. It's a process of things, of cleaning, all right? So it's a cleansing process, and Lord giving men spirits to seek men out who ain't fucking right. All right, or being weirdos, whatever. It says, Philippians 1:27, only let your conversations be as it becometh the gospel of the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. See? And you having conversation with men, your conversation got to be in the heavens too, man. All right, you having a niggly conversation or whatever, whatever. Brothers talk about shit, but when you just constantly in that spirit, or it's vain, brothers gonna look at you crazy, man. Or learn the spirit. Learn, brothers. That's because you haven't been around, brothers, to know the spirit, man. It says that whether I come see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit with one mind, striving together for the faith and the gospel, man. See that? Because the adversary will easily be able to penetrate a man who is weak in the faith or not really serious, and Judas and the Black Messiah, the whole brotherhood, man. You see that? But that ain't gonna happen, because if it's of the Lord, cause no man with the Lord brought together, no man can put asunder. All right, so we understand that. See that? In the NLT, Philippians 1:27, above all, you must live as the citizens of heaven, conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of good news about the Mashiach Yahushua. Then whether I come and see you again or hear about you, I will know that you are standing together with one spirit and one purpose, fighting together for the faith, which is the good news, man. All right, you see that? So, a lot of men, if you open your heart to men, and they not righteous or for the Lord, they'll hit you with this. This is Sirach 8:19, and it reads, it says, I'm going to read 18. Do no secret thing before a stranger, for thou knowest not what he will bring forth. And this is a secret thing. The solemn assembly, you have a brother asks, what the hell you doing in a solemn assembly? It's like, brother, if you laboring in the Lord, then you'll know when you get in there, man. The solemn assembly is for brothers who serious, all right, who've been laboring amongst, the Lord, and you'll have to see what it's about. That's why it's called a solemn assembly, man. All right? But you'll have to show your report, your works, and the Lord, and your faith and your sincerity, man. You stand out, I won't find out what the Passover is about. Nah, man, you got to put in work for that. All right? You got to work to see that. All right? You got to work to be a part of that. See? It says, open not thine heart to every man. And this thing we do is a secret thing. Strangers are considered to be antichrist, agents, police, our adversaries. All right? There ain't no stranger that's a brother. That's going to be serious about this thing and get serious and going to come do the work. Because we all were strangers to each other at one point. Right? So therefore, none of us will be able to do a secret thing by us all being strangers. Right? This talking about a man who's not in a congregation of secrecy, which is in a congregation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. All right? It says, for thou knowest not what he would bring forth. We don't know what the hell men doing. This is why we got to know you, man. You going to have to let us know you. Just like we ourselves going to have to let ourselves know other men. It says, open not thine heart to every man. See? Least he requite thee with a shrewd turn. And in the man's heart is many vices. All right? And also in your heart is the spirit of what? The Lord too. You won't be just gullible and, I'm going to tell this man about the Lord and this man and invite this man to my house. Nah, man, listen. I came in the truth thinking every man was a man of the Lord. And I was naive and gullible. But I guarantee you it's not the same now. Once you learn wisdom. But that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter has been reached. All right? It's just knowing them that labor amongst you, saying we're in these dark, demonic times. And men's hearts, if they ain't for the Lord, a lot of men is going to turn from the Lord. And a lot of men going to stand strong for the Lord. But be a judge in the matter. Judging in the spirit. Not in off your feelings and emotions. All right? That you may be able to judge the house of the Lord. Especially those of the household of faith. And judge those who not of the house of the Lord. So I don't want what the Zada was edifying, man. Till next time I say shalom.